Yeah, hello everybody. This is Benjamin Schnau again. Happy New Year to everyone, right? This is our last after show of the 6th episode of We Are the Wave on Netflix. And we're gonna talk about Leah because she is surviving the shot in her shoulder. We also see that cop Serner is suspended from his job. And we also see that Tristan is now taking over Hacke and Abt. If you wanna see more, you better stay tuned.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me again in the new year. Happy New Year. I hope you had a great Christmas and a Happy New Year for everyone. And now, as I said already, we're in the last episode of We Are the Wave on Netflix. And I believe the last show was not the very last show because I have a feeling we're gonna have a second season because if you watch the ending like I did, it looks really much like that, right? But we're gonna talk about that in a minute. Before we're gonna go to that point, I just wanted to say, wow, I'm so glad that Leah survived because I didn't know what to expect in the 6th episode, right? Because she got shot, as we remember in the 5th episode, in her shoulder, and she lost a lot of blood, right? So she got taken to the hospital, and it didn't really look very good for her, but she made it, right? So I'm really glad that that happened because I believe she's great for the story overall. I mean, I'm glad she survived as a human being, obviously, but I like her character so much, right? Because I feel like she has one of the best arcs, like character arcs overall. So I really like that. But what we also see is we see a little bit more of the background story of cop Serner, which is very interesting to me because I always had a feeling he's a little weird. He's not the typical cop that we know, especially in Germany. So he had something going on with his private life. And as we see, remember, he was the guy who shot Leah in the 5th episode and now got back to the police station and gets suspended from his job. I was like, wow, that was kind of surprising to me. I didn't expect him to get suspended because he was just doing something that I kind of believed he had to do in the situation because these people, remember in the 5th episode, they just crossed the Autobahn to the other side and he didn't really have any more choice to just do what he had to do. So I was kind of surprised about that. So what do you guys feel? What is it like? Was it the right thing for the police station to get him suspended and basically like let him lose his job? I'm not sure about that. But what we have when he's going back to the car is that he's receiving a phone call from his ex-wife who already knew about that. So she kind of knows that he lost his job and now she wants him to sign the divorce papers. Very interesting. So we didn't really talk more about that in the last episode, but I feel like this is the beginning of a background story, of a sub-storyline that we might gonna see in the 2nd season. Just saying, right? You never know. But that was very interesting to see, but I also felt like that he was very embarrassed about himself. He could not accept that he lost his job right now, and what does he do? He goes back home and he's investigating. He definitely wants to find out more about Tristan, right? What is this guy doing? Where is he coming from? And he got the information. So he's still working with this kind of police, like colleague or whatever who it is. He's giving him the police documents of Tristan and he finds a lot about information about Tristan that he's using now to his advantage, even that he's not working as a police officer anymore. So I feel like, this guy is very cruel in a way, right? He's also brutal as we remember from the last episodes. I think for him it's not just being a cop. I think he just wants to prove himself that he's worth something in life. It's a very psychology thing what's going on with him, I believe, right? And especially because he lost his family. I think he got divorced or he's about to get divorced. He lost his child, right? The mom took his child and whatever. So I think that's really bothering him. That's really hurting him. So coming from that, what he's also realizing is that Tristan has a new mission, right? Or he always had that mission, but I think now it's his time to fulfill what he always wanted to do. Because remember, we never really have a conversation with Tristan and all the other people about what his real purpose is or why he basically came to this town doing all these things. And now out of a sudden we realize, wow, he's kind of opening up a little more. And I also feel like he realized, or he's questioning basically, okay, is the wave the right thing? Is this organization, this community that we're building here right now, is that the right thing even for what I want to do? Because I just have that one goal. Remember, I just want to basically fight for the right of my mom who lost his life because of the guys at Hacke and Abt using their weapons to kill my mother. So he's using that right now and is trying to basically go after it to get revenge pretty much, right? That's what he's trying to do. And no one knew about that before. But what is kind about the group is that they kind of still with him. They give him the respect, even that he never talked about it, and they're still going to fight for him and his plan to take down Hacke and Abt, this weapon company, right, that we see on the show. So that was very interesting. Leah didn't know about that, but she finds out. And that was the first time, by the way, the storyline that I was always observing the whole time in all the episodes always made sense to me. But in the 6th episode, I don't know how you guys felt, but I feel like there was something that didn't quite work for me. There's this one situation, I just wanted to point that out. There's one situation where we see Hagen and Zazie going to Hacke Abt and doing an internship. So we know, and also Tristan know, because it's part of the plan, that they go to Hacke Abt, to the weapon company, and do an internship to basically investigate a little more, to get more information about the company and how it looks like from the inside. But Leah at that point didn't know about that. But then at some point, we just get to another scene, and out of a sudden, Leah knows about this internship already, just like that, just out of the blue. And I was like, wait a second, how did she find out about the internship if no one ever talked to her about that? So I'm not sure, what do you guys think? Did that make sense to you? For me, it was kind of a jump of information. So out of a sudden, from one scene to the other, she just knew about the internship. Let me know what you guys think. I was like, it was a little bit confusing, but it still worked, obviously, at the end. But moving on from that perspective, we see Leah coming to Tristan's apartment, and it's kind of like talking to him about the truth, right? So she even didn't know about that. But when she finds out that Tristan was planning that the whole time, that he just wants to revenge for his mom, she has a very hard time to accept that, right? And she just wants to leave the group. And she's kind of leaving in that night. She's leaving, she's going back home. But for Leah, I still remember that moment when she was in the hospital at the beginning of this episode. She's fighting for her life, but I think she could never really forget about the wave. It was always in her head. She was trying to become healthy again, kind of to recovering from her shot. But she was always about the wave, though. I think even more than Tristan at the moment. I think Tristan is about to fulfill his plan, but he's still not completely believing in the wave anymore as itself. Leah, on the other side, she's completely in. She's 100% committed right now, and she definitely wants to do even more with all the group, with all the people, even that she got shot in the last episode. So that's very interesting how her transformation was going along in all these episodes. If you remember, at the beginning, she was this kind of fancy, wealthy woman, who had everything that she wanted, like clothing, like a scooter, everything she wanted, basically. She lived in a very rich house and stuff like that. And now all of a sudden, she's changing completely and now kind of becomes the new leader of the wave community. Very interesting to me, right? So because I feel like she now has to figure out how to behave. And what's interesting about that is now I feel she knows how to do it. I think she grew from the 3rd episode, I think it was, where she completely messed up, right? Remember, when they were trying to get into this one factory and they completely messed it up and the police came at the end. So from that moment to now, the last episode, there was a transformation that she now became the leader of this community and she knows exactly what she's doing, right? And as we see in the very last scene, Hacke Abt, the company, Hagen, Zazie, and Tristan, they're going to take over, right? They have their plan, they're having their mask, right? They go inside, and Tristan, by the way, now we found out what he was always trying to do with the money that he had. He was basically buying a bomb. Because I was always asking myself, why? What is he doing with this one lady that he knows from the past? Why is she always stopping by with a big RV or with this big van and is giving him something, but no one really knew what it was? And now we know. It was a huge bomb that he wants to use to basically destroy Hacke Abt, the weapon company, right? And that's the plan. So they go in there, he basically places the bomb, but then what they didn't expect, and I didn't expect that either, I don't know how you guys felt about that, but out of a sudden, Cop Serner comes back into screen and is taken over and is trying to basically block the whole plan, what Tristan probably had, and he's almost trying to kill Zazie and Tristan in that building. And, it's just fascinating to me because Cop Serner, for me, is not just that cop. I believe that he has a very deep connection even to Tristan. I do kind of a prediction already here a little bit, but I have a feeling that he's kind of connected to Tristan. And I hope, if that's the truth, that we're going to see a lot more in the 2nd season, right? Because there's something going on with this family of Cop Serner and Tristan. There must be some kind of connection. Something is going not right here. You know what I mean? You had the same feeling. But Zazie, on the other hand, is very interesting what happened happen to her because she is losing her mind. She's losing her mind. And I also want to say I had a feeling that Zazie was always feeling more for Tristan that she was basically talking about. I mean, she's kind of in a relationship with Hagen, or they do something together. They're kind of hooking up with each other. But she always had some kind of attraction to Tristan because he was the leader of the wave, right? But now that she's realizing that Leah comes back into the screen and back into the picture with all the people of the wave, all the new members trying to take over Hacke and Abt, she realizes, wow, they love Leah so much. I think she's the main person. It's not me. And even Tristan, the guy that I admire so much, is more on her side. And I can't really deal with that. And you can tell in Zazie's eyes, she's broken. She's literally broken when we see the scene where they're all at the company. She's broken. She cannot believe. Even Hagen, who was always trying to support her, they were always kissing. They were always doing something. I was like, wow. Now Zazie is turning around like 180 and is a completely different person because now she's really open with her feelings and is telling everybody or showing us, hey, I might love Tristan even, right? Not on a we are the wave level, on a personal level even. And she can handle that situation. And what is she doing? She goes back into the company and is taking the bomb with her and is leaving that place. And she's leaving everyone behind, which was very interesting to me. I would never have expected her to do that because she was always so committed to the wave. For me, she was the last person doing that. But that shows even more how she is connected to Tristan on an emotional level, right? I think that's what love is at the end of the day, right? If you're broken and you still feel like, wow, I want to be part of it, but I cannot because the person that I love so much is part of that group, so I cannot really do it anymore. You probably just leave. And that's what she's doing. She's leaving it. She's going back home, but she got the bomb, guys. Never forget, she got the bomb, and she's crying, and she's all over the place. And that's also how we end that scene with her, which makes me thinking, that's what I said at the very beginning. I have a feeling there's definitely a second season because it's very much like an open ending, right? So everyone was like, okay, what is she doing with the bomb right now? Maybe you asked yourself, what is she doing with the bomb? Why does she keeps the bomb? For what? What does she want to do? Now, hopefully getting into second season and having even more understanding about that, right? So that's her storyline. I think there's a lot more that we can expect from her. But I want to go back to Hacke Abt for a minute, talking about this scenario, because what I really liked about that last scene that we see is kind of like a metaphor moment for me. Because remember, all these people are dressed in white, and they all have guns with kind of like red color in it, or like some kind of liquid, which is red. And like symbolically, they just wanted to show everybody, hey, if we are shooting each other right now, we're all going to be red on our clothing, right? So they're wearing white, and out of a sudden, at the end of the day, they're all red, which basically is a very great metaphor to say everybody, or to tell everybody, hey, if we still using these weapons, if this company is able to build and to produce all these weapons for all these companies who are trying to kill people in a lot of countries all over the place, right? This is actually what's going to happen. And as you can see, the scenario when everyone is trying to do that and everyone is doing it at the end and they go all down on the ground, laying there, all in red color and red liquid, is a great symbol to say, hey, stop that, because if you do not stop that, this is actually happening in real life. And of course, we live in the world of social media. Tristan and everyone, especially Leah, she knows how to kind of market that, and she's putting it out there. And so many people see it, which is a great moment, because as we learned in this episode, which is also something, by the way, that I believe we're going to see a lot more in the season 2, if some sin is coming up, is that we have a lot more cities now even contributing to that, right? We have Frankfurt, we have Hamburg, we have Munich. It's all over the place, right? They're all kind of separate organizations, but at the end of the day, they're following the same rule of we are the wave, fighting for respect, fighting basically for equality, and that's pretty much what the show is all about. And that's why I like it so much. So hopefully we're going to have a second season, guys. Let me know what you think about the last episode. Let me know what you think about Zazie, especially about Zazie, because that was a very, very interesting moment, very something unexpected. And I hope to see you guys on the second season. I hope they're going to come up with that very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great 2020. I appreciate that. And yeah. See you soon. You can also follow me on Instagram, by the way, and Facebook. It's at Benjamin Schnau, SCHNOU. Until then, have a great week and see you soon, guys.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.